Welcome to Leaders Library Lounge. Grab a seat, settle in, and let's embark on a journey of discovery and growth together. Today we're diving deep into the world of Elon Musk, a leader who, well, let's just say he sparks a lot of debate.
Yeah, a lot of debate. That's one way to put it.
Is he a visionary genius or a reckless risk taker? I guess that's what we're here to find out.
I guess so.
You've given us a pretty extensive reading list.
Yeah.
With excerpts from Ashlee Vance's biography.
Right.
And articles on Tesla and SpaceX. So are you ready to explore what makes this complex leader tick?
I am if you are.
Let's do it. What often gets lost in all the headlines about Elon Musk is that his journey, it wasn't some, silver spoon story.
Right. It's really fascinating how his childhood wasn't exactly what you'd picture for a future billionaire.
Not at all.
His relationship with his father was incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Musk himself said his dad was good at making life miserable.
Wow.
That kind of adversity early on, it can really shape someone you know.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how that impacted his worldview.
Right.
But it wasn't all darkness, though, right?
Right.
His grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, sounds like he was a pretty incredible influence.
Yeah, he was.
Flying planes without instruments.
Yeah, talk about adventurous spirit.
That's amazing. So we're seeing these contrasting figures in his early life. Like this nativity from one parent, but then this daring, adventurous spirit from his grandfather.
Yeah. And you also see his technical mind blossoming early on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He taught himself to code at just 10 years old.
Wow.
And created a video game by the age of 12.
That's incredible.
It's almost like those experiences were setting the stage for this, relentless pursuit of pushing boundaries.
Yeah, he wasn't just handed success.
Right.
He was actively seeking it out from a young age.
Yeah.
So he had this drive to create, to innovate.
Yeah.
So how does a kid from South Africa end up in Silicon Valley, especially in the aftermath of the dot-com bubble?
It was a very interesting time.
It was.
Musk arrived in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
During a time when everyone was being super cautious.
Right.
The dot-com crash had just happened. Everyone was wary of, risky ventures.
Yeah, they were afraid to lose money.
Yeah, exactly. But Musk's approach was completely different.
Yeah.
He was bold, brash, willing to defy that prevailing sentiment of playing it safe.
It's like he was going against the grain.
Totally. And you see this in his first company, Zip2.
Yeah, tell me about Zip2.
So they offered this early digital mapping platform. It's something we take for granted today.
Yeah, Google Maps, GPS, all that.
Exactly. But back then, it was revolutionary.
So he was laying the groundwork for technology that would become ubiquitous years later.
Yeah, and that's incredible foresight.
It is incredible foresight.
But his leadership style, even back then, was intense.
Yeah.
I mean, he was known for fixing other engineers' code, working nonstop, clashing with colleagues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There are stories about him going in and, literally fixing their thing code because he was so frustrated.
Sounds like a tough boss.
He was very demanding, but you can see the seeds of his ambition and drive taking root. He had this unwavering belief in his vision.
Yeah.
Even if it rubbed some people the wrong way.
Right. It sounds like he was learning on the job.
Yeah, definitely.
Figuring out how to turn that raw ambition into effective leadership.
He was learning how to be a CEO, essentially.
Right. And despite those challenges, he had a major win with Zip2.
He did.
A sale of Zip2 for over $300 million.
Yeah, that was his first taste of massive success.
Wow, and that's where we start to see the Elon Musk persona we recognize today.
Right.
It's almost like he was embodying this archetype of the daring entrepreneur.
You see it in his actions.
Yeah.
After that huge payday, what does he do?
I don't know, tell me.
He buys a McLaren F1.
Oh, wow.
Like a supercar known for its speed and exclusivity.
Yeah.
And promptly challenges Larry Ellison to a race.
Oh, wow. Another tech titan known for his, extravagant lifestyle.
Exactly. And then there's that story about him crashing that very McLaren.
Oh, no.
It's a glimpse into that side of his personality.
Right.
Audacity and maybe a little bit of recklessness.
A little bit, yeah.
Ah.
So he's living life on fast forward, pushing boundaries in business technology, even his personal life.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the lavish lifestyle, though.
Wow.
He channeled that money into founding X.com,
Okay.
which later became PayPal.
Right.
And this is all happening while he's getting more and more fascinated by space exploration.
Really?
Yeah, imagine
Right.
building this groundbreaking financial technology company. But at the same time, he's attending Mars Society events, donating generously, talking about creating a Mars Oasis project.
It's like he's operating on a different timeline than everyone else.
It really is. He was juggling these massive ambitions.
Yeah.
And it's during this whirlwind of activity
Mm-hmm.
that he gets hit with a really bad case of malaria.
Oh, wow.
Almost fatal.
That's scary.
This brush with death, it really becomes a turning point in his life.
Yeah, it makes you realize how precious time is.
He described coming very close to dying.
Wow.
It made him reevaluate his priorities.
Yeah.
He realized that time was precious and that he needed to act on his dreams now.
It's like a wake-up call.
And that brings us to the birth of SpaceX and Tesla.
Wow.
They were born from this renewed sense of urgency,
Right.
fueled by his vision of, colonizing Mars and accelerating sustainable transportation.
Okay, so two companies.
Yeah.
Both aiming to revolutionize their respective industries.
Mm-hmm.
It seems almost impossible to take on such monumental challenges.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Okay.
Building a rocket factory from an empty warehouse, convincing the world that electric cars could be not just practical,
Yeah.
but desirable.
Right.
The early days of both companies were marked by this scrappy against all odds mentality.
Can imagine.
He thrived in those high-pressure, high-stakes environments.
It's like he was drawn to the impossible.
Maybe he was.
So he faced a near-death experience with malaria, a divorce, a personal financial crisis in 2008 that nearly led him to bankruptcy.
There's a lot to handle.
It's hard to fathom that he didn't just break under the pressure.
I know.
What do you think kept him going through all of that?
That's a question a lot of people ask.
Yeah.
I think it boils down to his unwavering belief in his vision,
Okay.
that unshakable conviction that he was working towards something truly meaningful.
So it's that same belief that defines the culture he's fostered at both SpaceX and Tesla.
Yeah, long hours, flat hierarchies, a relentless push for innovation.
Not your typical corporate environment.
Not at all. There's a story about Musk personally interviewing every early SpaceX employee,
Really?
even the janitors.
Wow.
He wanted to ensure everyone was completely aligned with the mission and shared that same passion.
That's dedication.
He even has this famous riddle that he asks during interviews.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about this riddle.
So he asks candidates to imagine walking 1 mile south, 1 mile west, and then 1 mile north, ending up back where they started.
Most people would say the North Pole.
You're right. Most people jump to the North Pole.
Right.
But what's fascinating is that there's another solution.
Right.
You can start at a specific point near the South Pole,
Hmm.
where the circumference of the Earth at that latitude
Yeah.
allows you to complete a 1 mile west loop, returning you to your starting point.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that.
Most people don't. It's a clever way to see how people problem solve.
He's not just looking for people who can solve problems,
Right.
but people who can think outside the box,
Exactly.
consider multiple perspectives,
It's a glimpse into what it's like to work with him.
right?
Demanding, unconventional, and intensely focused on finding the best and brightest minds.
So it sounds like a pressure cooker environment
Yeah.
where you either thrive or burn out quickly.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
And his management style, it definitely attracts and repels talent.
I can imagine.
Some employees describe him as inspiring and visionary, while others find him difficult and, let's just say, intense.
Right. So that level of intensity, it's not for everyone.
Definitely not.
But there's no denying that it's produced some remarkable results.
It has.
So let's dive into some of those specific achievements, starting with Tesla.
Okay.
A pivotal moment in Tesla's journey
Mm-hmm.
was the development and launch of the Model S,
Yeah.
their first ground-up vehicle.
Right. Statement to the world that electric cars could be luxurious high performance.
And sexy.
And sexy.
Yeah. The Model S was packed with groundbreaking features.
It was.
Like that massive 17-inch touchscreen,
Yeah.
the retractable door handles.
Nobody else was doing that at the time.
It really pushed the boundaries of what people expected from an electric car.
It did, but it wasn't all smooth sailing, though.
Right.
Scaling production and ensuring those innovative features worked reliably
Mm-hmm.
was a huge challenge.
I bet.
They faced numerous setbacks and delays.
I can only imagine. And then there was that risky bet on the supercharger network.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bold move to invest in building out a network of fast charging stations.
Especially when electric cars were still a niche market.
Yeah. It was a huge gamble.
But that decision was a game changer.
Yeah.
By addressing range anxiety, one
Yeah.
of the biggest barriers to electric vehicle adoption.
Right.
They solidified Tesla's brand as a leader in not just electric vehicles,
Yeah.
but the entire infrastructure needed to support them.
It was a brilliant strategic move
Yeah.
that paid off tremendously.
Yeah, it really was.
Speaking of bold moves,
Yes.
we can't forget about SpaceX's journey from a struggling startup to a major player in the aerospace industry.
It's been an amazing journey.
It has.
Their list of accomplishments is staggering.
Tell me about them.
Okay, so the Falcon 1 became the first privately built rocket to reach orbit,
Wow.
shattering the perception that space exploration was solely the domain of government agencies.
That's huge.
Then there's the Dragon capsule,
Yeah.
which successfully docked with the International Space Station.
Paving the way for commercial resupply missions and even human spaceflight.
Exactly.
And the Dragon V2 takes things even further with the ability to land anywhere on Earth.
It's amazing.
They're rewriting the rules of space travel.
Yeah, making it more accessible and sustainable.
And all of this
Yeah.
is tied to Musk's ultimate goal of making humanity a multiplanetary species.
Right. He's laying the groundwork for future missions to Mars.
It's mind-boggling to think about the scale of his ambition
I know.
and the impact he's already had on both the automotive and aerospace industries.
It's incredible.
He's challenged traditional players, pushed the boundaries of innovation.
Forced everyone to step up their game.
It's amazing.
He's not just building companies, he's trying to fundamentally change the world.
It's a powerful idea.
It is, and it brings us to a key question.
What's that?
Is Elon Musk a visionary genius who's leading us towards a brighter future, or a reckless maverick who's taking unnecessary risks?
That's a tough one.
It is a question with no easy answers.
Yeah.
His story is filled with contradictions and complexities.
Like, one thing's for sure, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
So as we dive deeper into his world,
Yeah,
we'll explore those contradictions,
we will.
examine his leadership style,
You're right.
and try to make sense of the impact he's having on the world.
Now, before we move on,
Huh?
I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Out of everything we've covered so far, what stands out to you the most about Elon Musk?
What stands out to me the most, you know what truly fascinates me, is how he seemingly embraces suffering as a necessary part of achieving greatness.
Tell me more about that.
He constantly talks about his tough childhood, the insane work hours, the pressure he faces. It's almost like he sees those challenges as badges of honor, essential ingredients in his journey.
That's an intriguing observation,
Yeah.
and it's certainly reflected in the demanding culture he's cultivated at SpaceX and Tesla.
Right.
Remember those anecdotes about engineers pulling all-nighters, pushing themselves to the limit?
Exactly. It's clear that not everyone can thrive in that kind of high-pressure environment.
Right.
But for a certain type of person,
Yeah.
that intensity, that sense of being part of something truly groundbreaking, it's appealing.
It's like they're drawn to the challenge, the idea that they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
But it also raises questions about sustainability.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Can you really maintain that level of intensity over the long term?
Right.
And if so, at what cost?
That's a question that's been raised by many, including some of those close to him.
Yeah.
Musk himself has admitted to struggling with work-life balance.
Right.
He's been married and divorced multiple times.
Yeah.
And even his friends have expressed concern about the toll this relentless drive takes on him.
It seems like he's made a conscious decision to prioritize his mission above everything else.
His companies, his vision for the future, those are his primary focuses.
It's that single-minded focus that's enabled him to accomplish things most people thought were impossible.
You're right. He took on the giants of the auto industry with Tesla.
Yeah.
Challenged the entrenched aerospace establishment with SpaceX.
And he's winning.
He is.
It's a classic underdog story for the modern age.
It really is, but it's also important to acknowledge the criticisms he faces.
Right. Of course, there are those who argue that he's reckless,
Yeah.
that he takes unnecessary risks, that he's more interested in hype than substance.
He's definitely not afraid to make bold, even outlandish statements.
Remember when he claimed Tesla could become more valuable than Apple?
Oh, yeah. Or his proposal for the Hyperloop.
Right, a high-speed transportation system that would shoot pods through tubes at hundreds of miles per hour.
These ideas capture the imagination.
They do.
But they also raise eyebrows.
Yeah, are they truly realistic? Are they feasible?
Exactly.
Those are questions only time will answer.
Right.
But what I find interesting is that even his most vocal critics can't help but admire his ambition,
Yeah.
his willingness to dream big.
He's challenged us to reconsider what's possible, to push the boundaries of our own thinking.
He's done it all while grappling with some very human struggles.
I remember the story about losing his first son to sudden infant death syndrome.
Oh, yeah, that's heartbreaking.
It's a tragedy that would break most people.
It would.
It's a reminder that behind the larger-than-life persona,
Yeah.
behind the audacious goals, there's a deeply complex and driven individual.
Someone who's willing to push himself and everyone around him to the absolute limit, in pursuit of his vision.
Exactly.
So what can we ultimately learn from Elon Musk, the leader?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
His story is a study in contrasts.
Yeah.
The brilliant innovator versus the demanding taskmaster.
Yeah.
The visionary leader versus the flawed human being.
He's shown us what's possible when you combine audacious goals with relentless drive. But he's also reminded us that success often comes at a price.
And as we look to the future,
Yeah.
as we consider the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, it's crucial to ask ourselves,
What's that?
what aspects of Elon Musk's approach can we and should we emulate?
It's a question with no easy answers,
It's not?
but it's a question that every aspiring leader should grapple with.
Now, before we conclude our deep dive into Elon Musk's world,
Okay.
there's one final aspect we need to explore: his legacy.
Okay, his impact on the world is undeniable. But how will he ultimately be remembered?
That's a good question.
What will be his lasting contribution?
It's a question that's still being written.
Yeah.
But one thing's for certain, he's left an indelible mark on our collective imagination.
He's shown us that anything is possible if you're willing to dream big enough and work hard enough.
And he's challenged us to reconsider our own limits,
Yeah.
to push beyond what we thought was achievable.
His legacy will undoubtedly continue to be debated for years to come.
It will.
But one thing's clear, Elon Musk has changed the world, and he's not done yet.
Not even close.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm ready.
Imagine a world where electric cars are the norm, where renewable energy powers our homes and businesses, and where humanity has established a permanent presence on Mars.
Wow.
It's a world that seems both within reach and incredibly far away at the same time.
It really does.
And it's a world that Elon Musk is actively working to create.
He is.
The question is, will he succeed?
That's a big question.
And perhaps more importantly, what role will you play in shaping that future?
That is the question we all need to ask ourselves.
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
This world that seems both familiar and utterly transformed.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, to lose sight of those grand possibilities.
Exactly. That's what makes studying a leader like Musk so compelling.
Right.
He's not just focused on quarterly earnings or the next product launch.
Right.
He's thinking decades, even centuries ahead.
That long-term vision, that
Yeah.
unwavering belief in the future,
Yeah.
that seems to be one of his defining characteristics.
I think so, but let's be honest, not everyone's on board with his vision.
Right. Some people find his ideas delusional, his goals unrealistic.
Right, and they point to a pattern of overpromising and under-delivering.
Yeah, there's definitely a healthy dose of skepticism surrounding his ventures.
And some of it is warranted.
Right.
He does have a history of setting ambitious timelines
Yeah.
and then struggling to meet them.
Like the delays with the Tesla Roadster
Yeah.
and the initial production hiccups with the Model S.
Right. But there's a difference between being overly optimistic and being deliberately misleading. I think it's important to remember that Musk is operating in uncharted territory.
Okay.
He's attempting to achieve things that have never been done before.
It's like he's playing a different game altogether.
Yeah.
He's not just trying to compete within existing industries.
Right.
He's trying to create entirely new ones.
And that comes with inherent risks.
Yeah.
There are bound to be setbacks, delays, even outright failures along the way.
But what we've seen time and time again is his remarkable resilience.
Absolutely.
He doesn't give up easily. He learns from his mistakes, adapts, and keeps pushing forward.
That relentless drive, that refusal to accept the status quo.
Yeah.
That's a powerful force. It's one of the key takeaways from his journey.
He's a constant reminder that we shouldn't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom,
Right.
to dream big.
To strive for something truly extraordinary.
And that's a powerful message, regardless of whether you agree with his specific goals or methods.
It is. He's shown us that it's possible to bend reality to your will.
Wow.
To make the seemingly impossible possible.
You know, I bet some of our listeners are thinking,
What are they thinking?
okay, that's great. Elon Musk is an exceptional individual. But what does that have to do with me?
That's a fair question. After all, not everyone is launching rockets or building electric cars.
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
You don't have to be Elon Musk to apply some of his core principles to your own life and career.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Let's start with his long-term thinking.
Okay.
Are you setting goals that are ambitious enough? Are you challenging yourself to think bigger, to break free from the limitations of your current circumstances?
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind to lose sight of the bigger picture.
Musk's story is a great reminder that we need to intentionally carve out time to think about the future, to envision what's possible.
Absolutely. And think about his relentless drive.
Yeah.
Are you pursuing your goals with enough passion and determination?
Right.
Are you willing to put in the extra effort to go the extra mile?
It's not about working yourself to the bone.
Right.
But it is about bringing that same level of intensity and focus to the things you're truly passionate about.
Exactly. And finally, consider his willingness to challenge convention.
Are you questioning assumptions?
Yeah.
Are you actively searching for new and innovative ways to do things?
It's about not being afraid to be different, to think outside the box, to push the boundaries of what's considered possible.
These are all valuable lessons we can glean from studying Elon Musk, regardless of our industry or aspirations.
He's demonstrated that we all have the potential to achieve great things if we embrace challenges, push beyond our comfort zones, and never give up on our dreams.
Thank you for joining us in the Leaders Library Lounge, where we uncover the stories and strategies that define greatness. We hope you were inspired. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and comment. Yeah, it is inspiring to think about that.
But it's important to acknowledge
What's that?
that not every leader can or should try to be exactly like Elon Musk.
Right. His methods can be controversial.
Yeah. And that intensity,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone.
It's about finding what works for you, for your team, and for the challenges you're facing.
Right.
Blindly copying someone else's style, even someone as successful as Elon Musk, it's rarely a recipe for success.
So for our listeners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed
Yeah.
by, the scale of Musk's achievements,
I understand.
how can we distill these lessons into something practical and applicable?
I think one of the most important takeaways is the power of setting audacious goals.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to aim high, to dream big. Even if you don't achieve everything exactly as you envisioned it, the process of striving for something extraordinary can lead to incredible growth and innovation.
So it's about pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone,
Exactly.
challenging those perceived limits of what's possible.
Right. And that leads to another crucial lesson.
What's that?
Don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
Musk has faced numerous setbacks and failures throughout his career,
Yeah.
but he's never let them define him.
It's about embracing failure as a necessary part of the learning process,
Absolutely.
a stepping stone on the path to success.
It is, and it's also about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Okay.
Musk has been incredibly intentional about building teams that are as passionate and driven as he is.
So it's about finding people who share your vision,
Yes.
who are willing to challenge you, and who are committed to pushing boundaries alongside you.
Exactly. And finally, don't underestimate the importance of relentless drive and determination.
Yeah.
Musk's story is a testament to the power of unwavering belief in your vision, even when others doubt you.
It's about that refusal to give up,
Yeah.
that willingness to put in the hard work to persevere through challenges.
That inner fire that fuels your passion and drives you forward.
Those are qualities that any aspiring leader can cultivate, regardless of their industry or their goals.
Absolutely.
So as we close our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk,
Yeah.
let's remember that while he might be an exceptional individual, the lessons we can learn from him are universal.
They are.
It's about setting audacious goals,
Yes.
embracing failure, building strong teams, and never giving up on your dreams.
Thank you for joining us in the Leaders Library Lounge, where we uncover the stories and strategies that define greatness. We hope you were inspired. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and comment.